U.S. policymakers should make selling F-35 jets to Taiwan a priority. Taiwan's government has requested them. Leading U.S. senators, including Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Jim Inhofe, Republican Oklahoma, have advocated for the sale. Fear of a violent Chinese reaction to Taiwan acquiring the jets and espionage stealing the fighters' technology has kept that from becoming a reality, as has cost. But perhaps that should change. The F-35 jet club includes the United States, the UK, Italy, Israel, Canada, Australia, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Norway. Other nations including Poland, Singapore, Greece, Spain, Japan, South Korea and Poland also have the F-35 jets under consideration. Cost has been a concern for Taiwan, but growing export orders have reduced its price tag. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, became the most recent nation to submit a request to join the club last month after signing the Abrahamic Accords with Israel. The People's Republic of China's ability to strike any aircraft that takes off in the airspace over Taiwan puts the island's ability to defend itself from bombers and other attack aircraft at risk. Currently, the People's Liberation Army's PLA S-400 missiles can shoot down Taiwan's F-16 jets, Mirage 2000s, F-5 light fighter jet and other aircraft from the mainland in the event of any attack. This would assist the People's Liberation Army Air Force, PLAAF, H-6N bombers and other attack aircraft in striking Taiwanese airfields, bases and other military targets during an invasion. The F-35B variant would give the Republic of China Air Force, RFA, the option of having lethal stealth aircraft able to operate from roads and other places that likely are off the PLA's target map. This would be similar to how Sweden's Air Force operates. Its Saab jet fighters are designed to be dispersed across the country and to operate from ordinary roads for decades in case of a surprise attack. The F-35B also can operate in confined areas due to its vertical takeoff and landing capabilities. Adding it to the RFA inventory would give it flexibility in contrast with its current F-16 jets, F-5 jets and Dassault Mirage 2000, which are confined to airstrips or large highways. Taiwan's airfields would be knocked out by Chinese aircraft and missiles in the case of an invasion. Recent exercises showed that the F-35 jets achieved a kill ratio against opponents of 15-1, more than a match for the PLAAF. Chinese jet fighters pale in comparison with the F-35 jets when it comes to their capabilities due to their engine issues and inferior sensors, not to mention their lack of stealth. The F-35 jet's abilities also exceed those of the PLAAF's J-20 stealth fighter, which the Indian Air Force tracked on radar during exercises over Tibet near the Indian border. Recent PLAAF exercises give added urgency. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, run Global Times reported that the People's Liberation Army Air Force, PLAAF, conducted surveillance flights around Taiwan aimed at gathering intelligence in mid-September. The PLA has been increasing the intensity of patrols, searching and reconnaissance in order to gain more intelligence, with the goal of providing basic information and creating advantageous conditions for its future maritime activities and combat operations, Li Jie, a Beijing-based naval expert, said, the Global Times reported. Chinese pilots practiced securing air supremacy over the Taiwan Strait and over Taiwan itself during the most recent maneuvers. PLAAF J-10 and J-11 fighters practiced potential attacks near the Taiwanese-held islands of Taichung and Sichuan where Taiwan's Mirage 2000 fighter jets are based, northwest of the main island. Meanwhile, PLAAF H-6 jet bombers practiced sinking the Taiwanese Navy with anti-ship missiles in conjunction with J-16 fighter jets along the southwestern edge of Taiwan. Having F-35 jets in the Republic of China Air Force's RFA inventory would add an element of surprise and allow it to knock out these bombers and fighters without warning. Its stealth, maneuverability and smart weapons to degrade enemy air defenses would give Taiwan a major advantage, compared with its current fleet of F-16s, F-5s and the Mirage 2000 fighter jets that can be targeted from the mainland. It also could provide offensive capabilities against the PLA's long-range surface-to-air missiles. Recent reports suggest that the PLAAF pilots lack the same quality of air-to-air combat training held by American or Israeli pilots. The United States should therefore train Taiwanese pilots in its red flag exercises to give them an additional lethal leg up against the PLAAF. Sophisticated aircraft with high-tech weapons are only as good as their pilots. Selling Taiwan the F-35 jets and including their pilots in US-sponsored red flag exercises could go a long way toward helping it to maintain air superiority in the event of a PLA invasion. This also is something that Taiwanese officials have long coveted. Members of Congress also have shown interest. Senator Tom Cotton introduced a bill in 2017 aimed at including Taiwan in red flag exercises. Training together with the F-35 jets offers a key to neutralizing a major Chinese advantage. Beijing might think twice in the face of the F-35 jets and Taiwan's growing cruise missile capabilities with Thailand, which would offer an alternative route to the busy Malacca Strait, is part of Beijing's debt diplomacy and could end up as a white elephant project, an initial internal assessment by the Indian government says. The Canal project envisages a canal cutting across Thailand and connecting the Gulf of Thailand to the Andaman Sea. Like several other projects, the Canal project is also part of China's Belt and Road Initiative and is being touted as a new gateway to China's 21st-century maritime Silk Road. There is a growing belief that the canal could end up being the next front in the India-China standoff. New Delhi, however, believes that the canal could end up as another white elephant project, a reference to an idiom that seeks to describe an entity that is far costlier than it's useful. China's ploy of debt diplomacy is obviously at play and it could end up being a white elephant project. The ports of Hambantota and Gwadar, which have been ceded to China by Sri Lanka and Pakistan, demonstrate the true motives behind the Canal, a ploy to gain sovereignty over the Kara Isthmus in exchange for debt, a scenario that would strike at the very viability of Thailand as a nation, reads the internal assessment of the project by the Defense and Security Establishment. Project will negatively affect Thailand, assessment. China has projected the Canal as a dream project and a means to improve maritime transportation in the region, akin to the Suez and the Panama Canals, the assessment says. It adds that like its other projects, Beijing is flaunting it as an excellent opportunity for Thailand to enhance its economic potential by affording financial gain to maritime traders and charging toll fees and port usage charges. China also claims that the project will lead to development of the Kara Isthmus region and generate large employment opportunities for local residents. It is also claimed that the canal will greatly benefit East Asian countries and littorals via Indian Ocean Rim Association, since the canal would result in reducing maritime transportation costs, reads the Indian government's internal assessment. This saving has been described as close to 1,200 kilometers in distance and 72-hour saving in time to reach the Indian Ocean. Stating the geostrategic significance of the project, the assessment mentions that Thailand, located in Southeast Asia, has the South China Sea, SCS, to the east and Andaman Sea to the west. There are presently three major straits in the region, Malacca, Sunda, and Lombok. The preponderance of maritime trade passes through Malacca Strait, which is the busiest in the world, the assessment reads. The proposed Canal, if constructed, would bifurcate Thailand's Kara Isthmus and directly connect the Ests and Andaman Sea, bypassing Malacca. The assessment notes that the benefits being claimed by the proponents of the Canal may not be completely true and are visibly exaggerated. This project is likely to cause major environmental issues for Thailand, and would also negatively affect marine ecology and tourist sites. Over 20% of Thailand's GDP is based on tourism, it says. Geopolitically, the project may end up as another bone of contention in the already fragile Southeast Asia, since it may negatively affect the economies of Singapore and Malaysia, the assessment adds. Benefits greatly exaggerated. The assessment says that the most overstated claim about the Canal is its financial viability and the savings in distance and time expected for the merchant marine. Firstly, the total distance saved by routing maritime traffic through Canal instead of transiting through the Malacca Strait is less than 500 kilometers. To make matters worse, When this distance is translated into actual transit time of merchant ships, the resultant saving in time is well under 10 hours. This is because merchant ships transiting through the much wider Malacca Strait do so at continuous high speeds of over 25 km per hour. However, the Kra Canal will be excavated through the Kra Isthmus and will be a very narrow channel of water through which ships would have to proceed at canal speed, around 10 to 12 km per hour, it says. The assessment also notes that there are likely to be delays in embarking and disembarking pilots, expert mariners who guide ships through canals, and also when ships wait in line for their turn to start the journey through the canal. Giving a cost analysis, it says that one will have to look at the financial viability and the net saving in costs that will accrue to the merchant marine. One must keep in mind that sea passage through the Malacca Strait is free of cost since it is an international strait. On the other hand, the expected $30 billion cost of the Kra Canal will result in heavy charges being levied on merchant ships transiting through the canal, similar to the Panama and Suez canals, it adds. Both these canals presently charge in excess of $500,000 per transit for a normal-sized merchant vessel, and it is very likely that the Kra Canal will charge at least these rates, if not much higher. Given that the route through the Kra Canal will only result in a saving of 10 hours for merchant traffic, as compared to the Malacca Strait, the cost of fuel saved is likely to be only around $25,000, a fraction of the transit cost of over $500,000, it added.